Performance reviews. What comes to mind when you think of it? Excitement, nervousness, or are you just over it because of past experiences? If you're new to performance reviews with your manager or you're keen to ace your next one, then you're in the right place. In this video, I'm going to be quickly covering what is a performance review, why is it important, and how you can prepare for your next one. So let's dive right in. So a performance review is a formal assessment between you and your manager, and it usually happens in the middle of the year or at the end of the year, or even both. What is important for you to know that when you approach these performance reviews, there's two parts to consider. Part A is about looking backwards, and that is reflecting on your past work performance. Part B is about looking forwards, and that is sharing your short and long-term goals and getting clarity on how to achieve them, among other things. But why is this important? A performance review gives you the opportunity to take control of your career. And even when you think about it, right? When you get structured feedback and recognition from your manager, it contributes towards your development and your motivation on how you approach everything going forward. Now, let's help you prepare in 5 steps. Step 1, start with the right mindset. Approaching these conversations with the growth mindset is always key. Don't just look at this review as an evaluation or judgment of you, but look at it as an opportunity to learn, grow, and find out where you need to improve. According to a Harvard Business Review, if a performance conversation or performance review is done well, then it leads to higher job satisfaction, higher retention, and that's all because you have an open dialogue or open conversation, you're honest, you've reflected, and most importantly, you're looking at how you can get to the next level and address concerns that you may have. Step 2, reflect on your past performance. Now, this is what I was saying earlier about looking backwards. At the start of the year, hopefully, you would have worked with your manager to identify your KPIs or key performance indicators, specific goals or objectives that you needed to track against this year. Alternatively, you may have had previous feedback from your performance review and specific actions that you needed to take this year. Use all of this in preparation for your conversation and ask yourself these key questions. How have you been tracking towards your KPIs, goals, and actions? Rate your performance on a scale from 1 to 5, with 5 being extraordinary and 1 not meeting expectations. What are your achievements? Try to use it to highlight your strengths and talk to at least 3 you want to focus on. Where could you have improved across the projects you've worked on? And lastly, what are your areas of development? So where do you feel you need to improve the most? Again, try to highlight at least 3. So when you do ask yourself these self-reflective questions, keep these 3 things in mind. The first one, tie what you're doing in with the bigger organizational goals. You want to showcase your value not only to your team, but to the organization as a whole. Secondly, back up with what you're saying with facts. So this could be specific stats or numbers, or even where people have commended you for the projects that you've worked on. 3, show that you have a strong sense of self by being truly honest when you do answer these questions. Now I'm going to just give you a quick example. I'm going to use marketing because I am in marketing and it's just a little bit easier for me, but you can try and see how you can format it in a way that suits you. My focus has been to build our global digital presence by launching our LinkedIn channel. Over the past 12 months, we've seen a significant growth in followers, averaging 500 per month, which is higher than the industry norm of 100 followers. Plus, we've seen the highest engagement rate when compared to our top 10 competitors. Most of our following is from USA, UK, and SA, and this shows our efforts are contributing towards the organization's goals of building brand awareness globally. This can be attributed to the highly engaging thought leadership content that I've been posting. I will admit that I have not yet created a consistent cadence for posting on the channel because other urgent tasks have taken priority. But going forward, I will develop a social media calendar and block out at least 1 day in a month to write all my content and brief in creative for the next month so that I have everything ready. Step 3, focus on your career development. So remember when I spoke about looking forwards? This is it. In a study by Gartner, It showed that when performance reviews are forward-facing, employees' performance actually increased by 13%. So use this as your opportunity to focus on your career goals. That is what you want to do, what you want to learn, what are your short and long-term goals, etc. This is all about you and what you want. So here's an example. It is a continuation from the marketing example, but you can use it as a template if you like. As you know, I want to be deliberate about my career path to expand and extend on my current role so that I can succeed in my future role and achieve my next goal as a senior digital marketing manager. There's an advanced digital marketing course that I feel would help me enhance my knowledge and skills as a specialist in the field. Would the organization support me with this? And based on my current performance, what else do I need to do to achieve my goal? Step 4, ask questions. You need to find out from your manager and get clarity on what he or she expects from you, but also to find out where the organization is heading. Sometimes in a year, an organization's goals may pivot or change based on other factors that happen throughout the year. So it's important that you always know what's happening so that you can adapt. Now, there are certain things or certain questions that you can ask your manager. The first one is, what are your goals for me? What are the organization's goals going forward? What are the metrics that I need to use to check my performance? While I know what I'm working towards, I'd like your view on how you see where I'm going and what your goals are for me based on my skills, strengths, and where the organization is going. Step 5, be receptive to feedback. Now, this goes back to what I was saying earlier about having a growth mindset. It's important that you listen and stay open-minded. Hopefully, your manager is giving you constructive feedback that will allow you to grow and learn going forward. I know sometimes it is uncomfortable and maybe even a little bit disappointing, but try not to get aggressive or defensive. And if you don't have an answer for your manager right there, if they ask you a question, be honest and say, can I please have some time to think about it? I will get back to you soon, or something similar to that effect. I'm going to use my last marketing example to kind of help you out. Thank you for your honest feedback. I'd like to take some time to reflect on what you've shared and work on a plan to make improvements as I go forward. I'd like to set up a follow-up meeting with you when you're free next week to discuss this further. Remember, if you approach your performance review with the right preparation and the right mindset, it will be a valuable opportunity for both your personal and professional development. Check out my next video on the power of a growth mindset and how to harness it. So if you like this video, then please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may benefit. Until next time, keep thriving.